the number of people he knows on one hand. The name rings a bell, though. Who? Chantel slaps at his arm hard enough to bruise.
Jordan Jones? As in Jordan Jones of Spirit Seekers?
Riley's heart plummets to his feet. Used to be he could name every major ghost hunting show on every network in America. These days he does his best to stay out of paranormal chasing entirely. Too many associated triggers, as his government-mandated therapist would have said. Jordan Jones, though? Spirit Seekers? You'd have to live under a rock to not have at least heard of them. They'd been up-and-comers when he was still obsessed with the scene. 3 years devoted to streaming their show independently on their own website. Right before he'd stopped following industry news, he'd heard a rumor that they'd been signed by Netflix. Looking at Jordan's expensive glasses and Hollywood glamour attitude, he can only assume that it had more than panned out for them. "We've never met," he says. "I don't know the first thing about her."
Are you sure?
Chantel hisses, fingernails biting into his skin.
Because it looks like she's coming over here, and I don't think it's for me.
Jordan slides smoothly out of her booth, approaching them before Riley can decide whether it's worth it to retreat to the back room. She leans on the counter and says, "I hope I'm not interrupting anything."
Nope,
Chantel breathes, starstruck.
I mean, can we help you, Miss Jones?
She smiles again, the shiny whites of her teeth ghostly in the fluorescent lights. "I was just hoping for an espresso, if I could." The businessman Riley had served earlier, who's been waiting for his drink for 5 minutes now, pointedly checks his watch. Chantel ignores him, fixated on Jordan.
Of course, for here or to go.
"Well, that depends." Jordan's gaze slips to Riley. "I'd rather hoped I could borrow your colleague for a small chat, if it's not too much trouble."
He would love to,
Chantel says at the exact moment Riley blurts, "No thanks." Chantel shoots him a look, but Jordan doesn't seem fazed. "It wouldn't take longer than a few minutes, I promise. I'll have you back behind the counter before your boss even knows you're gone." "I'm my boss today, actually," Riley says. "That'll be $5.50. One of Jordan's perfectly plucked brows climbs. "For a single shot of espresso?" "Sure." "Your board says it's an even $4. The board is wrong," Riley says. $6.50, please." Chantel hisses his name, but Jordan merely laughs. She slips her wallet from her back pocket and drops a 20 on the counter. "Keep the change," she says. "Consider it a gesture of goodwill." Riley doesn't touch the bill. "I don't need your money." "Are you sure?" Jordan asks. "What about $25,000? Riley doesn't blink. "That sounds like a very expensive coffee, even for us. If we're charging prices like that, maybe you should be buying elsewhere." Jordan doesn't take the bait. "Just hear me out, Mr. Fox. I can promise you won't regret it." Riley doesn't need to hear her out. From the second he realized who she was, he knew exactly what she'd come here for, and it wasn't a fucking espresso. He doesn't say anything. Beside him, Chantel maintains a death grip on his arm. If she's hoping to bully him into agreement, she'll have to try harder than that. Jordan flashes him one more of her endless smiles and slips back to her booth.
What?
Chantel says.
The fuck was that about?
Riley sighs. Chantel is just that little bit younger than him, young enough that the gossip of the town from 2 years ago has probably blown right over her head. He liked that. It allowed him the pretense of anonymity, something he wasn't always afforded these days. People don't often approach him in public.